Hello, everyone, and welcome to WoodYaTalk. I'm Woody, and I am tired as fuck. And welcome to WoodYaTalk. And we're gonna talk about the Jobbies. My other co-host, Bomber. Hi, hello.
Hello. I'm gonna try to bring just as much enthusiasm as you are today. I'm gonna try my best. Once I got home from work, funny enough, I got food poisoning. So I'm sitting here with a horrible fever right now, and I am ready to do this thing. So I am sweating, I am shaking, I am ready.
That does not sound fun at all.
Nope, but I'm here. I'm ready to do this thing.
Oh God.
Yep, I've been sleeping all day, and but yeah. Oh, by the way, don't make me laugh. I do not want to shit my computer chair. Okay, just by the way.
You shouldn't have told me that. No,
Yeah.
I see. I've never had food poisoning, but I know people who have, and it literally just messes you up.
I thought I did before, but nope. This is
Now that you have it,
yeah,
you realize
I thought
you hadn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's brutal.
I will always say to the people who get migraines, they're like, "Oh, I got migraines." I'm like, "No, you don't. Unless you've had a real migraine, you don't. When you look at light and it burns your brain, that's a real migraine.
Yep.
You have a headache and you don't like it."
Yep.
I've only had about one migraine in my life, but Jesus. Okay. So yeah, so Bomber has food poisoning. That's too bad. Woody is tired, more tired than I am. I had a good vacation. It was a lot of fun seeing family and stuff, and it's 'tis the season and all this good stuff. So yeah, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about some wrestling awards for the year end.
Yes, and now we're here to have fun.
Though I will tell you, Bomber, already in the chat, we got Dr. Tommy Oliver says you are the real MVP. Thank you for being here.
Oh yeah, hey, does that mean you voted for me for Superstar of the Year? Oh, I hope so.
Maybe.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, maybe.
That would be fantastic. You know what? Everybody should just go change their votes and put me in there.
And let's just throw something in here real quick. I know Spring Tigress is working on a JRPL cookbook in the Discord idea, some silly ideas there. And CT Martin wants to do an acceptance speech and character chat for the Jobbies when they're actually done. Oh. I don't know what your plan is.
I was about to say,
for
he's already
an
planned
article or some kind of write-up. I don't know what you've got planned, Bomber, but there's some good ideas in here for some fun stuff.
Oh yeah, I dig it. I dig it. The only thing I have is the main article that I did last year. But yeah, any stuff we do in chat, that's cool.
Sweet. Well,
so yeah, what do you want to
get started? I'm not going to be looking at the chat window. I'm going to the Jobber page because I haven't voted yet, so I'm going to be doing this live.
Beautiful.
That's as enthusiastic as I got, but I'm doing it live right now. We're doing it live. I'm going to vote as we go. Bomber and Woody have voted. They'll be discussing theirs as I discuss mine, and they try to sway me to their side. It might happen. It might not.
Yeah, I am the most recent person to vote, by the way.
Hey!
Of us doing this, unless somebody votes while we're in here, but...
Well, hopefully people are going to vote while we go. This will be there's no better reason to not vote because we're going to spend time on it. So if you're listening along, go for it. Jobberradio.com, of course. But yeah, Woody, let's go. We have a bunch of categories. Let's have some fun.
We do, and like we talked about this, but like we're gonna go rotate, talk about them as quick as possible, and like talk about why we chose them or why Scott should choose them.
Ah, that's right.
Yes.
But we're gonna start. We're gonna start with the JRPL Turn of the Year, and the candidates are Banksley. I think he turned on the solution. Well, he turned heel on the solution.
He turned twice this year, so that's interesting. Yeah, he turned on solution, then later at the very end of the year, he turned kind of face. So he got two turns in there.
Hiro Shin Moses, he turned on kind of like a weird turn on GMSG and Tigers and all them. Tino, another heel turn on the solution. Victory Green, I don't know if I remember his turn. Was it
He pretty much turned him and the whole story between him and the Hebrew Hammer. Victor Green was one of the big faces for a while, and he was, getting his streak going, building himself up. And he kind of turned and went kind of just to the dark side and led to a big, crazy feud between him and Hebrew Hammer. They got pretty dirty. I remember Warden, while it was happening, said that Victor Green was his favorite heel. I don't know if that reflects how he voted, but during that time, he said Victory Green was his favorite heel. So just want to point that out.
Okay. I like that. Next, you got the UVC, you got Bomber, Jet, and Bastion. Another heel turn on the solution, kind of like a double turn, really.
Yeah, kind of a theme going here. Yeah. It was at the Royal Rumble, if you guys remember. But yeah, it was a double turn. We both kind of turned there.
And then you have Cross, and I want to say that was near his demon phase.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he was. It was that Tournament of Death. So right there was it the finals or after the final? I think it was the finals. He came out as the demon and just straight up turned heel.
Yeah, because there was all those. Was he the one all about like the death promos and all that crap?
Yes, there was little snippets that was taking place for several shows. I don't know how exactly long it was, but it was at least a couple months where it was, death is coming to the JRPL, that kind of stuff, and it ended up at the end being the demon. So that was his turn.
Okay. And out of these 6 people, who did you vote for the turn of the year?
Well, first of all, I'm just gonna say it right now. Obviously, the UVC, for bias reasons and non-bias reasons. I mean, Tino's a little bit forgettable. Banksy had 2, but if you combine both of them, I guess maybe that's really good. But each one individually wasn't the best. Hito was interesting. I think one of the more interesting ones. Victor Green's was good but basic. Cross's was, his was very interesting too. But UVC, I mean, we were the main faces of the company going against the Solution, which was the main heels of the company, and we did a huge turn at the Royal Rumble, which led into, how dastardly all 3 of us were. You lost an eye, so-and-so almost died, or maybe did die. I don't know. I think the UVC turned and made a big heel push after being like the faces. So I went with the UVC.
That is a very, very good reason. And if I hadn't voted, you probably would have swayed me with that. Mm-hmm. But I went a different route. I went Hero, because out of all of them, that was the one that caught me off guard the most and interested me the most.
Yeah, I can see that.
And you're not wrong when you say UBC probably might be like the turn of the year, because you definitely just swayed me with that. Mm-hmm. But when I was voting at the time, Hero definitely was the most interesting out of all of them. So that's why I went Hero.
Okay. So what does that mean for you, Scott? Mr. Doing it live here.
Well, Banksy's is cool because he had 2, which almost splits the vote in a way, because he had that good turn and he had that good turn. Mm-hmm. I love the turning to make it the year of Banksy no matter what, but then the redemption turn. I mean, that was streamed live because I hadn't read the full results yet. So when you mentioned that he went face to redeem himself at the very end, I got so excited. It's on camera. I was like, that's so cool. So that legitimately is one of my favorite turns. But I think Hero is, like, just storyline wise, my favorite turn of the year. Like, this everything going on with that is as cool as hell. But I hate myself for wanting to pick UVC right now because I completely forgot that it was like heel face dynamic, which completely flipped. It just became so natural of a thing that might be the one. But I'm sorry, I got to go Hero.
Oh no, do your thing, man.
Hero. That's. I don't think I saw it coming to that level. Mm-hmm. And I just really like it. So yeah.
Cool. I will say, I'm not going to reveal the voting numbers right now on all these, but I will say whether or not something is, close or far away. But let's just say this is one of the more closer categories on the entire thing. So cool. It's pretty neck and neck. We'll say that between 3 different categories. I'll say that 3 different nominations.
So hey. I hit enter when I did that, so I might have actually submitted with one thing in it. You might want to...
No, I think it should say you got to do all of them. They all should be requested. Okay. Yeah, so you're good.
Okay, so I literally had stopped beforehand, so we'll see here. We'll see.
Yeah, you're
good.
If
I forget what I did, I got it recorded, so we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, I forget, Bomber, I'm next, right?
Yeah, you are next.
Heel of the year. We have Redhead 12, Bomber, Bastion, that bastard, Victory Green, who, as we mentioned, turned and became that, and Legit Boss 2K. People that I'm familiar with all year long.
Yeah. Legit Boss, I think, is definitely one of the underrated ones.
Yeah.
Like Lead Imperium and, like, all the stuff with Cammy. Like, that was some good stuff.
I'll work my way back through. Legit Boss, I think, she disappeared after, like, Survivor Series-ish.
Yes.
Was taken out in that time. Temporary, we understand, but, I mean, these things happen. Literally went through Imperium and World Title Run, and it did that classic case of not defending it, which is a real bullshit, awesome heel move. I loved that. It was great. I mixed it up with Boss. It was fun. Beat her in like a minute at All In. It was great. Victory Green took his head off in Survivor Series. That's all about I did there with him. But Bastion, that fucker, I want to know why Jut's not in there. But, it's okay.
I'll explain in a little bit.
Bastion's fine. I'm cool because Bastion's like, Jut made me watch, but Bastion did it. So I'm okay with Bastion on that. Bomber, well, yeah, I mean, you're literally it's like how could you have biggest heel without having McMahon involved, is my opinion with you being there. But not just that, you got your hands dirty. Mm-hmm. You broke Spring Tigress's neck even worse. You did all this dastardly stuff. You stymied me at every chance. It was a lot of fun. And Redhead is a crazy, psychotic bitch.
Hey, there you
go. There's stuff. There's things happening. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens. We'll see. 2019 is coming up. I'm not going to pick my vote until I hear you guys, though. I want to hear what you guys have to say on that.
Okay. I'll go first real quick, Woody, then you can go. I voted Bastion. To me, I think Bastion... I think all of these are very good nominations, first of all, but I think Bastion stood out head and shoulders over the other ones, mainly because of the little things he did. He cut out a fucking guy's eye. He was the main contributor in both Gord's and Lee's death. Yeah, Jut was there. He was a part of it, but Bastion was kind of the driving force in each one of those things if you go back and look. So just those things alone. Two guys are probably dead because of that guy right there, and he cut out an eyeball with a shard of glass and tried to do it to Gord's not long after that, but got stopped. So, I think Bastion definitely took the vote for me by far. But again, a lot of these, like I said, Legit Boss, super underrated. All the stuff with Cammy just in the bathroom. If you remember, she lured Cammy into the bathroom and just beat her over the head repeatedly with a chair, like caving it in. That led to the whole Cammy thing. And Redhead, the whole blood stuff was crazy. Me, of course, leading the charge. But I still think, at the end of the day, I still went with Bastion. Because his little smaller details, I think, were more heelish, or more like, he was just fucking evil. He was downright evil, I think. So I went with Bastion for my vote. So what'd you go with, Woody? Or do you remember? Do you need me to tell you?
I am 70% sure I went Bastion.
You did go Bastion, yep.
And for all the reasons you said, and, all the nominations were good, but I think, like, everything you said, Bastion just head and shoulders over everyone. He cut out someone's eye. And that's pretty much it. You said all the reasons.
Yep. Okay. Well, what are you thinking there, Scott?
I mean, with Redhead, it's kind of funny because I helped with some of the blood writing stuff when it was getting started to really get a feel for that. So that was... I'm a little biased on that, but still, I like it, obviously. Not much can top what you did, but I don't call anybody else a bastard like I do Bastion. So I got to go Bastion. Legit Boss is close though, because this Legit Boss had almost that Ric Flair heel aspect.
That's
when
true.
she was doing her stuff. I really liked it. But Bastion killed two people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got to go Bastion. So yeah, I'm picking Bastion.
All right, so Face of the Year. I think this was a pretty tough one, picking out nominations, because I feel I could have added even a couple more, but I wanted to limit it to what I could. Like, if you saw, Heels had 5 nominations, Faces had 6. So anyway, the nominations were The Warden, Ash, Woody, Spring Tigress, Hidoshin Moses, and Cam Popplestone. A lot of these are for pretty obvious reasons. Obviously, the Warden, he was on top of when I was doing them, which I've been a little behind lately, I admit. But the power rankings, he was probably at the top of the power rankings more than anybody else, at the very top for faces. Woody for being Ash first. Ash, he, as of recently, as of probably the last half of the year, he had so many big things going for him. Like, we're talking, you know what? Even further back, remember the whole thing with Broken Nerd? Ash was the main good guy in the Broken Nerd storyline that took place.
Broken Nord.
Yeah, the Broken Nord. The Ash.
Food poison is good to you.
Yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty bad. Ash. He had the thing with Broken Nerd. Then he went on to have that big thing with the Finn, and then he ended the year pretty much capturing the World Championship and being on top of the face pile at the end. So that's that. We had Woody, who was one of the top faces ever since they turned face, main eventing WrestleMania, main eventing so many other things. Spring Tigress, overall, I think Spring Tigress, just overall, everybody just loves Spring Tigress, and she had really fun things with her character throughout the year. We're talking stuff with Legit Boss, Legit Boss and all that. Hito was beloved as well until his turn, and Cam Popplestone as well. We're talking Cam Popplestone's epic run with the Road Warrior title. So all 6 of these people, I feel, really strong candidates. What do you guys think? Do you think these are some strong candidates or what?
Yeah, they're very strong candidates, and I think I'd almost argue that I would swap out Beerme for a Warden, because I feel like Beerme's he's a better. I think he's a better face in my eyes than Warden.
Okay. I can see that argument.
It's really hard to distinguish both of them.
You know what? I really did have a hard time with that. You are correct on that. I did have a hard time with that on a lot of things.
Yeah, we'll get that more later, but it's hard to distinguish both of them.
Yeah. So, do you want to give away who you voted for first?
Yeah,
and then I'll go.
I voted for myself because out of them all, you know, like I said, Warden, it's hard to distinguish between him and Beerme. Ash, you know, he was a really big face, definitely in the later half and then early half. Tigress, like you said, she's just like an overall good, you know, everyone loves Tigress.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if there was enough of that, like story-wise and all that to warrant my vote for that.
Gotcha.
Hero, kind of like Tigress. Everyone loves Hero, but then he had that turn recently that kind of halted some of that, kind of maybe. And Cam, in my eyes, has always been like that little tweener, like coming back, but even coming back, like you don't know who he's gonna attack. And then me, I felt like the Woody character was at the full front of everything since Mania, like fighting against authority, fighting against like all the big bad guys. And when I think of Face of the Year, I think of that. So that's why I went that vote.
Okay. As for me, to me, it was down between 2 people in this, and it was a really hard decision for me. To me, it was down between Woody and Ash. And at the end of the day, I did go with Ash based off of he played, his character was like the perfect underdog, and he battled a lot of adversity throughout the entire year. Like I said, I already went through the stories that he went through. And then to cap off the year, and I'm going to admit that what gave me the edge over Woody were those 2 big wins at the end of the year. I don't know if that should have factored into, you know, face of the year, but it was written out where the crowd, he almost got Super Hippo type reactions, basically. Like last year, Super Hippo, I believe, would have also won this category. He was he was the biggest face, I feel, last year, but this wasn't a category last year. But I feel like he's getting right now like superhero type, Super Hippo type stuff, and that is who I went with. So, and as of right now, I will tell you, unfortunately for Ash, he is not the most popular choice. So, as I'm looking at the results, I'm not going to give numbers, like I said, but he is not. he's not running away with this one. So, but that's what I went with. What about you, Scott? What are you feeling?
Well, it is a tough category. Because Cam was doing like what he said, the where is he, where isn't he kind of thing, and that was a lot of fun. It was much more of a behind the scenes version of what I was doing, just out there fighting everybody. But I was fighting everybody, so it wasn't like heel face. He was going after you all the time. So Hero, obviously, like we said, he turned and he was super over beforehand. Everybody loves Tigress. Woody is almost like the John Cena, AJ Styles face, who's always there. Ash was the big underdog, and Warden's kind of like the old standby. It's a tough one. Like, I kind of want to go Warden, honestly. Just because, like I said, the old standby, like this just, I'm trying to think of a comparison to put to it, but Warden just always seemed to be like him and Bearme, honestly, and maybe Bearme would have been the better choice with the way I'm thinking it, but those two just kind of always tried to embody the right side once they became faces. And Woody, the one knock against you is you wanting me and Boss in a death match. That was a weird heelish move that I was like, nope. Nope. Nope.
I get that, but I've always thought of the Woody character as more of a, like, he's a face, but he's not that clear cut face.
Yeah, and that's fair, but that doesn't make you get to be face of the year then.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's fair. But no, because I understand, like, that's the character. He's kind of twisted and not all face, and I appreciate that. I get that. But no, I just let me go Warden. I don't know. Warden's one of my favorites. It's like he's just the upper echelon of it, and he's always a fun one. So I'm going with Warden on that.
All right, cool deal. So what do we got next?
Now, one thing I'll mention, these are the storyline awards. We didn't mention the whole list of what these ones are, because there's the overall, like, the match and event awards and the superstar awards. These are the storyline awards, this whole section we're talking about. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But next up, Woody, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, the next one up is the JRPL Trash Talker of the Year, which is basically the kayfabe Discord role player, like the JRPL character chat, if I'm thinking that correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we got Vitamin Yes of Team No Chance. It's Scott. You have Jet9 from UBC, Woody from The Solution, the Warden from The Solution, and Dr. Tommy Oliver. Bomber, which one did you vote for?
Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure I went with Scott. Yes, I did go with Scott. A lot of these guys definitely have been getting in there, getting their hands dirty, having a lot of fun. But I think Scott is definitely he was I guess the originator, even doing video promos. Well, I don't know if you want to count Lee as the originator. With
Drunk Lee did the first ever.
I think that was a mistake, though, kind of.
That was.
Yeah. But
technically, you've got to put an asterisk on it.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess he is the originator. Yeah. But I will say that yours have been better than his drunken rant where he slurred the whole time. But no. I just feel Scott definitely has been almost one of the leaders in the forefront here with the character chat, and there was a lot of other good guys in there. I mean, Woody and Warden, you guys do a really good job with that. Dr. Tommy Oliver, brand new guy, knocking that out of the park as well. I think if he was around longer, I think he would have been higher up on my list, but didn't quite get up there. And Vitamin Yes, he's always getting involved too, throwing stuff in. And the last person I went in there, I went through and I was like reading all the promos and stuff, and I was like, man, Judge did a really good job. He didn't do it for as long, but I think his quality kind of like threw him in the nomination category. So I think he did good with that. But overall, yeah, I went with Scott. So yeah, I think to me, again, I think this was a no-brainer going with Scott.
Yeah, I also went with Scott for all those reasons. I think Scott just blew all the other candidates out of the water, in my opinion, and he was just he was that originator when it came to making the character chat, like, vibrant as it is, like all the new people going in the character chat. It's just really fun, and I went with Scott.
All right. Well, hey, Scott.
Thanks, guys. I like me too. I'm voting for me. I am. But I always say this with the character chat, and it's an idea to have fun with it, obviously, because it's an extra level of it. There's times where I'll see just some random post something, and I'll comment on it. Like not that I'm calling you guys randoms out there, Alpha Dogs and Tommy Oliver and you new guys. It's not that, but it's fun to have everybody encounter everybody. Like the upper echelon dealing with the new guys, dealing with the old guard, dealing with the guys on hard times. It's just kind of fun to see everything interact, because that's kind of the idea of a federation like that.
And
so
you know who's on the up and up, and also like brand new guy, which I think probably why he didn't make the list, but Jace Villain 13 has been doing some good stuff too. So
Jace, Oliver, you guys are awesome. You're doing some good fun stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
I will say CT Martin, I really loved his one promo. It's one of my favorite promos.
He went to the arena.
The audio one he did. God, that was good.
Yes. Yeah. He probably should have been in here over Jut. That was probably one of my mistakes there. That I'll admit that. Yeah, you're right.
There's some like I'll do like a couple paragraphs, and then Hero came back, or Bionic Knee, and guys come back with like one line, and it just destroys me. I'm like, fuck, that was good. What the hell do I do now? So and Jut
seems like that.
Jut, I was always like, buddy, pal. Oh, it gets under my skin every time. It's so good. So I am voting myself. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. That actually does mean a lot. That's cool. But yeah, like I have fun with it. I literally look forward to doing a video promo now whenever I get a match. It's like, oh, who do I get? Who do I get? Oh, sweet, let's do this one. So
nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Cool. Well, I definitely and I will say this is one of the categories. I'm not naming any names, but where the person in the front is kind of pulling away with votes on this one. This is one of the ones that are not as close. So I'll just throw that out there.
Cool. I'm okay with that. And I'll toot my horn on that one. I put a lot into it, so, It's pretty sweet. Speaking of kayfabe, though, I believe I'm up next?
Yeah, yep, sure.
All right, we have the Kayfabe Award. There's, like 10 listed here, so...
Yeah, there's quite a bit, because as I was writing one down, I was like, oh, wait a minute, that was really good, too. Let me put that in. And then I was like, oh, that was good. So, yeah, there are a decent amount of these.
All right. So let me just start through this list. Bastion cuts out Woody's eye. Elimination Chamber. Banksy makes good on the Year of Banksy. TLC. Ash captures the World Championship against Woody. Crown Jewel. John is kicked out of the Solution by Woody. TLC. God damn it, Woody. Stop making Moment of the Year stuff going on here. Yeah. Gourds is murdered by UBC's Jut and Bastion. That bastard. At WrestleMania. Broken Nerd goes on a mystery attack spree and is later revealed as the mastermind. Fastlane. Lee is murdered by those bastards. SummerSlam. Woody controls JRPL. Redemption through Best in the World. And Cam Popplestone returns after being fired at TakeOver New Orleans.
And that one that was listed by one event, but his kind of like, dragged out as well. So
his continual returns was great, but I did love those ones when they kept happening. Woody in control was some fun stuff. The top list with like the eye and then the Year of Banksy. Honestly, one of my favorite moment almost is the Year of Banksy. That coming to fruition. That's literally a year-long storyline. That's so great. Ash getting the world title. We talked about that after match 2 of the best of 5. Wouldn't it be cool if? Holy shit. that was awesome too. The Solution exploding was crazy. Gourds getting murdered. That's nice. Lee is my vote.
Lee's your vote? Oh, you're going with Lee.
Lee's my vote.
Even before
it was
get to go.
125 squash. I don't give a shit.
I'm pretty sure that I didn't go back and look, but I think that's the record for the biggest.
It was like a quadruple squash.
Yeah,
it was
like
ridiculous. It was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But no, Lee, that gets my vote.
Okay.
Because it literally, for me, if anything, that defined the rest of my year. More so than the Canadian title.
You know what? Yeah, I can see that.
That defined it. And the insane, crazy up and down run I'm on now, which somehow turned into me just trying to be like a mega face at the end. It's all good. So yeah, I'm going with Lee. You guys might sway me. I get to hit submit at the end of the night.
It's true.
But we'll see what you have to say.
All right. What do you got, Woody? I'll let you go.
I am pretty sure I went with Woody controls the JRPL.
You did? You did indeed.
when looking through all these, like this is probably one of the tougher ones I had to pick because there were just so many good ones. Like Bastion cuts out Woody's eye. That was really good. What else I had trouble with? Lee is murdered. That one was really tough. It was between those three for me, but I felt Woody character controlling the GRPL. I felt that was one of the bigger JRPL moments of the year. So when I was thinking of that, if it's one of the biggest moments of the year, it's probably one of the biggest kayfabe awards, and that was why I picked that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of really tough stuff in here. I ended up myself going with Bastion cutting out Woody's eye because of all the things. Yes, you had Gorge get murdered, like you had Lee get murdered. It's hard to top a murder, I guess, in the JRPL. But the eye thing, for some reason to me, and I believe, Woody, this was your idea, was it not? The eye?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
And to me, that was more graphic and more violent, I think. That, to me, was one of the most violent things, or the most violent thing that happened all year, was getting your eye carved out with a shard of glass. So I ended up going with that.
That's up there.
Yeah.
That is up there, yeah. I mean, you also got pushed off the cell. That's up there, too.
Yeah.
I dropped the Titantron, but these were like those weren't like major moments compared to the ramifications of these. So, yeah, I'm with you on the eye on that.
Yeah, I agree exactly with you, Woody, about the top three. I think for me also is Woody controlling, Lee murdered, and the eye being cut out. But like I said, in the end, I went with the eye cutout as the most gruesome, the most impactful to me, I think, moment of the year. So that's what I went with.
I still go with Lee.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
But I agree. They're all good moments, and it is hard, even with 12 of them, to pick a good one.
Yeah, no,
Other
it
than
is
that.
very tough.
Yeah.
All right, well, up next we have a big award here, Feud of the Year. Again, several big feuds, and here they are. Spring Tiger's Legit Boss. Does it have the actual when it started? No, it doesn't. Spring Tiger's Legit Boss. Hiro Shin Moses and Bionic Knee. The Outsiders versus the UVC. Woody versus Bomber. The Whole War with the Global Solution and the Ultraviolet Alliance. The Hebrew Hammer and Green, Victory Green. And last but not least, Ash and the Finn, the whole best of 5 series. So I will go first real quick here and tell you what I went with. It came down to 2. And I think it's pretty, to me, I think you guys are pretty obvious what the 2 are. Definitely the War and the Woody versus Bomber feud were the 2 it came between for me. The War lasted almost the longest thing in the whole, that was the longest story that took place over the entire year. But I went with Woody versus Bomber because at the very start of the year, this whole thing, it was UVC versus the Solution, and at the head of that was Woody versus Bomber. It had the big blow-off at WrestleMania, and it's still, even after the blow-off, it led into a whole war involving 30 people. So I still think, even though the war, it may not have turned out as good as I wish it did, but I think it still did turn out pretty good. I still went with Woody and Bomber because they were still a key part of even that feud. So that is why I went with Woody versus Bomber for my vote here. I guess, Woody, what did you go with?
I also went Woody versus Bomber because basically without Woody versus Bomber, there would be no Global Solution versus Ultraviolet Alliance.
Very true. Very true.
And Woody versus Bomber, this is a feud that kind of started even before this year.
Oh God! Yeah, way back.
Because me and you, that was our first match against each other, and I think we got perfect card on an NXT card.
Yes, the very first show, Takeover, Chicago. It was 2017. We got match of the night, very first show. Yeah, perfect scores. Yep. Yeah.
No, that's basically why I won it, because without Woody versus Bomber, there'd be no Global Solution versus Ultraviolet Alliance. And that was between those 2 for me. So that's why I went that one.
Nice. Scott, what are you thinking?
Well, I've said a bit about the ones I loved with Tigress and Boss and Hero and Knee, Woody and Bomber and the War. I mean, I love the War. I was being the loose cannon during that was so much fun. And Outsiders UBC obviously is a big one for me. But I got to go Ash versus Finn because
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I don't recall wanting to read a write-up for match results for matches more so than my own match than I did for those matches.
Okay.
I loved everything about that feud. Everything about that best of 5 and what became of it was just so cool. And what I liked about it, this almost might be like I'm voting wrong because of it, but it did what it did alongside the war and then came into the war and took things from the war. It was kind of cool how it just lived on its own accord and did that. So I got to go Ash versus Finn for that one. And people will be like, what, not yourself? No. Outsiders versus Ultraviolet Connection was literally like Randy Orton versus Christian. He won that one time. We didn't win a damn thing. That's a bad feud.
I can see
feud.
that. Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's a horrible feud. It was a great feud. I loved it. But we got our asses handed to us. That's not a good feud. What are you talking about?
Okay.
No, Ash versus Finn is my pick for that. Even though, yeah, the war, honestly, is my favorite thing all year, and it lasted so long. Ash versus Finn. I got so excited to read those matches every single time. More than any other. Even my own sometimes. Like, oh, what happened? I can't. I got to go with it. So, yeah.
Can't argue that. Cool. All right. Woody, you got the next one. This is a big one here.
Is it
As far as
theme song?
theme song, yeah. As far as a lot of,
yeah.
yeah. As far as a lot.
Okay. Let me click on this little link here.
Yep.
Okay. So we got JRPL Extreme Rules, Devil by Shinedown, JRPL Slammiversary, Toronto by Atlantic Machine, JRPL Takeover Brooklyn, No Sleep Till Brooklyn by Beastie Boys, JRPL SummerSlam, Glory by The Score, JRPL All In, Whatever It Takes by Hollywood Undead, JRPL Death Before Dishonor, Play with Fire by Warhol, JRPL Super Showdown, This Is It by Seven Kings, JRPL Bound for Glory, Glory and Gore by Lord, JRPL Evolution, Beast Inside Me by Bo, JRPL Crown Jewel, Surrender the Throne by Cruella, JRPL Takeover War Games, Ready for War by Bo, JRPL Survivor Series, The One to Survive by Hidden Citizens, JRPL Final Battle, Born for This by Seven Kings, and finally JRPL TLC Mayhem by Hailstorm.
All right, cool. Well, I know there's not much to.
When I voted.
Yeah, I know there's not much to talk about these, so I guess we'll just kind of jump in. You voted for. Let me see right here. Extreme Rules, Devil, Shinedown.
Is Shinedown who did your theme song or a Solution theme song?
No.
Who am I thinking of?
No. Shinedown does somebody's.
Godsmack. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, they're thinking of Godsmack, but yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I actually went with Survivor Series, One to Survive, Hidden Citizens. I think that the lyrics in that, and the song was just really good, but the lyrics were like perfect for the show, the war, all that stuff. So I went with that for my vote.
This is a ridiculously hard one for me because I picked
probably almost all,
or half of these.
More than half, I think.
Like, okay, so Toronto was mine. I think Glory you already had, but Whatever It Takes, Play with Fire. I gave you Seven Kings. Not this.
Oh
is
man,
it, but
Seven Kings
one.
is so good, by the way. I'd
never
heard of them.
There's like 4 or 5 banked by them. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're good.
Glory and Gore was not for me, but Beast Inside Me, Ready for War, One to Survive. There's Born for This. Mayhem, I think was yeah, and we're still going. So the One to Survive, I literally went, hey Bomber, I think I found the Survivor Series theme in June.
Yeah,
I sent it to you then, and you're like, I think you're right. And yeah, it's probably my favorite. We came into Beast Inside Me and Ready for War like at the same time. Like, look at these 2 songs. Holy shit, these are great. Ready for War War Games. Oh, it's so good. I do love the goofiness of Toronto. It's such a different one for Slammiversary.
It was. I do enjoy the outside the box ones like that as well.
Yeah. Like Glory and Gore. I'm like, I don't know about that one. But the more I hear it, like, yeah, it's good. I like it. It's a good one.
Oh, and it's getting some votes, too. Surprisingly. I didn't think it was going to get any.
I'm gonna go with the one that I still have on my playlist that still comes up and I get excited about. It's "Whatever It Takes" by Hollywood Undead. I fucking love that song.
Okay.
I don't know. Other ones are great and might be. Okay. Here's a question. I'm thinking, like, what song do I like best? If it's what song fits best, that's one to survive.
Gotcha.
So do you mean? So are we talking what song best fits
really,
its event?
It's really your preference. I mean, what did you think with theme song of the year? So it's really your preference.
The most appropriate song for the event is the one to survive, 100% for Survivor Series. I'm going with that then.
Okay.
As I thought about it, I'm like, wait a minute, no, this makes more sense. Yeah. But yeah, as you can tell, I love my promos. I also love my theme songs. So yeah, there's some good shit in there.
All right, and you're up next too.
Oh, up next is Upset of the Year. Now, Lee and I won this award last year, so it's only fitting that we announce this here. Oh, Lee's dead. We have Legit Boss defeating John for the world title in a death match. I hate death matches. At Money in the Bank. The Eloquent Enigmas, CT Martin and Junction, defeating The Solution, Warden and Beer Me for the tag titles at TLC. That just happened. Ash defeating Woody for the world title in a ladder match at Crown Jewel. Sorry, Woody, too soon. Tom defeating Woody. Oh, these are in a run. Top Lock title at the Greatest Royal Rumble. So when Woody goes to Saudi Arabia, he loses titles. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Crimson Cyborg defeating Bionic Knee. Woody, Bomber, Peanut is my bitch, 69. Money in the Bank, at Money in the Bank. And hey, I was involved in this. The Chaotic Maniacs, Broken Nerd, and Baron Ash defeating the UBC, Judge and Bastion, because the Titanton dropped on them in a death match at Hell in a Cell. That last part was an asterisk. I'll just throw out here what I'm thinking, and then you guys can go from there. Sure. Honestly, it goes back to Finn and Ash. I think Ash winning the world title capped off an awesome everything. That's what I'm thinking right now. But the Enigmas are real hard to not go with their tag title win. I kind of want to. I still might pick that. But Ash having that ultimate underdog feel-good moment of taking the title away from the champ, that's hard to beat. That's real hard to beat. But I don't know how much of an underdog he was in that with an upset. I don't know. So I'll let you guys hash this out for a bit.
I'll go super quick. I went with the tag team. I went with the Eloquent Enigmas beating The Solution. I think it says so much about fucking Warden and Beer Me Jesus, where almost any time they lose, it is a monumental upset. And just like last year, they lost in December, the last main show of the year. That's rough. It happened back-to-back years. That's when you and Lee got the win from last year. So,
the only other time they've lost their tag titles, it was upset of the year.
Yep. So, I mean, I went with that mainly because also CT Martin and Junction, they have been down as a tag team for so long this year. They everybody was dogging on those guys. They were really struggling as a tag team. So I think that that combined with beating Warden and Beer Me Jesus is why I went with it. So that was mine. What about you, Woody?
I think I went with Ash defeating Woody, but I could.
You
be
did?
wrong.
No, you did. You did.
Oh yeah, I did. Because kind of like what Scott said, I kind of took into effect of like his whole underdog story and his whole best of five thing. And as much as I wanted to vote the Eloquent Enigmas as tag team, beating Warden and Beer Me, I just couldn't get over like the whole underdog story, and that's why I went Ash beating Woody.
Okay. So did we sway anything, or you still got something picked out, Scott? What do you think?
The more I think of it, the more that Ash, his winning the best of five took him out of being an underdog in my eyes, in some ways, even though that was the culmination of that. I'm going with the Enigmas, because the reason for this is they had such a crap year to start, bounced around, they win red wins, and they couldn't get on the same page. Then they started to piece it together, then they would all win on the event, then they got the massive wins. So yeah, I'm going with the Enigmas after all. But it's literally like, maybe not. But no, it might just be because it's so fresh. But the Enigmas winning that, and against who they did it, yeah, that works. I think the Enigmas winning the tag titles would have been an upset either way. Not to knock them, but just from how the year was, that's an awesome turnaround. But the fact that it was against Warden and Beer Me, I think, is what seals it for me. So, yeah.
Since we're talking about upset of the year, really quick, I'm surprised that that No Chance winning Tag Money in the Bank wasn't on here.
That could have been I could see that being a big upset because there were so many other tag teams in that match. You were in that match, right, Scott? Or were you not in
The
that match?
Money in the Bank match?
The
Yeah, I
tag
was in
team?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, the tag team. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think anybody probably saw that coming, so I could definitely see an argument for putting that in there, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, and they still got the damn thing, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they still can have them for a while, so we'll see when they finally cash in.
And it's a real interesting thing to look at when you think about matches that weren't included. And I'm literally just thinking, like, did I really not have any kind of upset match? Not really. There wasn't any match that Lee and I had or that I had solo that was really like, oh, it's an upset. The closest I can think of is when I beat Legit Boss, literally the event after SummerSlam where Boss was world champ. If Boss was world champ and I beat her the way I did, maybe that'd be on here, right? Like that's all I can think of. There's nothing on. I had a pretty, I don't want to say mediocre year, but nothing really came out like, oh man, he shouldn't have won that, but he did. But yeah, Woody, sorry, you're on like the receiving end of 3 of these.
Yeah.
So I understand where you're coming from. I get it.
I mean, that says a lot. It says a lot.
Yep. Yeah, it takes a lot to beat you. I never have, if I am correct. So yeah.
All right. Well, we got another big one coming up here. Match of the year: the Solution versus the UVC Antino at War Games in a War Games match at Takeover New Orleans, which was right before WrestleMania. Victory Green versus Mod Step, top lock title match at Super Showdown. Crimson Cyborg, basically the Money in the Bank match. Crimson Cyborg, Bionic Knee, Woody, Bomber, Peanut is my bitch, 69. Then we had the Solution versus the Awesome Hooded Motherfuckers, the big tag team title match at SummerSlam, which is, if AHMF lose, they can't team again for the rest of the year. We had Bomber versus Woody at Hell in a Cell, in a Hell in a Cell match, top block title, the main event of WrestleMania, basically. John versus Tino, world title match at Fastlane, which is, I think, where John won his second world title. Ash versus Finn, which is their final match in the Best of 5 series at Evolution. And Woody versus Scott versus Bomber, Ultimate X Canadian title match at Slammiversary, the only house show match that's on the list here. So, Woody, what do you want to start it off here?
I can. This one, there were a lot of more fun matches than what I picked, but I went with Woody versus Bomber and Hell in a Cell at Mania for the top lock title, with the stipulation of if Woody lost, the Solution would be disbanded, and if Bomber lost, then Woody would gain control of the JRPL for, I'm going to say, 3 months.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I think that just says it all. I think, those stipulations and that whole feud is what really caked off like that match for the match of the year. But there were a lot of good ones. But just for me and my opinion, I just think the story, all the stipulations, it was just really, really good.
Okay, I guess I'll jump in. Victor Green versus Mod Step is actually the only match of the night of all these matches on here. I think that is the only match of the night winner that made this list. So that's interesting to think about. But that's just me pointing stuff out. I also went with Woody versus Bomber. Just like you said, stipulations. The only other one with a big stipulation on this list was the Solution versus AHMF, where, the losing team couldn't team for the rest of the year. But still, I think that, though big, not as big as the big stipulations with the Woody and Bomber. It main evented the first ever WrestleMania. The story was big. Everything was big about this match. I think that, to me, it was definitely the most impactful match of the year. So that is what I went with. So what are you thinking, Scott?
Woody versus Bomber versus Scott. Yeah. I'm voting for the one with me in it. And not because it's the one with me in it. But like you said, it's the only house show one. We did a lot of silly, fun stuff to make Slammiversary stand out. And it was all about that Canadian title and stuff. So I'm tooting my own horn on that one. I got to vote for that one. And I know it's got a far cry chance of winning it, but I'm going for it. It was so goofy, so much fun to have the back and forth, like I said, I kind of horned in on your WrestleMania main event rematch, and it was versus me in Toronto. All right. Yeah, no, I'm going with that one.
Cyborg was originally slated to be in it as well.
He was. It was actually supposed to be him in there as well until he got hurt.
I will say this. There are, unfortunately, 3 matches that don't have a single vote. I'm not going to say what they are, but 3 matches don't have a vote.
Well, I'm voting for the Canadian title match.
Well, still...
Does that change that?
Nope, it does not.
Yay! Yay, somebody else likes it too.
It does not. And the last thing I will...
Two, but I don't know what the third one is.
The last thing I will say is an unlikely match is leading this category. So that's a little teaser. An unlikely match is leading this category. So
cool.
Yeah, who's next? I just did that one, right? So I guess this is Woody.
That's Woody, I think, for this one.
The hardest event to predict.
Oh God.
Okay. We got JRPL WrestleMania, JRPL All In, JRPL SummerSlam, JRPL Royal Rumble, JRPL Takeover Brooklyn, and a big fuck you to the JRPL Crown Jewel. And I think I went Crown Jewel. Just gonna point it out there.
You did indeed go Crown Jewel.
I did, because that was just a shit show to predict, and fuck Saudi Arabia.
It was a very hard show to predict. I went with Takeover Brooklyn because I fought so hard with my picks on that show. Crown Jewel, hard, yes. Crown Jewel was difficult, like, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. But Brooklyn, I had so many second thoughts, second guesses, everything. I fought with every match on that show as far as fighting to pick what I'm actually going to submit. So I don't remember any other show this year that did it, especially every match. So I went with Takeover Brooklyn for my pick. What about you, Scott? Did you have one that really stood out?
No, I agree. Takeovers are always the most notorious because either way usually makes sense for either opponent, or even like when there's like a 5 or a 6-man ladder match, it's like, yeah, any of them makes sense to win. Well, fuck, there's no runaway, like, obviously this person with takeovers. It's nuts like that. So I find they're the hardest, and there's only 4 matches to work with, so it gets real risky. Yeah. Crown Jewel was tough, but I felt after Greatest Rumble, I kind of knew what they were going with. It's a glorified house show. They're going to have a title change, but not much else, and blah, blah, blah. WrestleMania is just so long, and SummerSlam is so long, and the Rumble has so little, so that's a tough one too, but nothing beats takeovers. Takeovers are always the hardest. And you'd think I'd be like, Ring of Honor, All In, because I do poorly at those. All In, I felt that was easy. Normally, like, if you don't pay attention, it might be hard, but I was able to kind of knock that one out. I'm like, they're going to cater to the fans. It'll be great. So, takeover. It's always going to be a takeover for me, I think, for these. So, yeah.
All right. I will say this. We have one show way out in front in this one. So, just want to let that out there. And I think... that
happened last year, too, didn't it?
You know what? I unfortunately don't even know what won last year.
I'm pretty sure it was a takeover.
Maybe.
It was the War Games takeover, I think, where it was like, this the fuck you, like, who the fuck knows how to predict this one?
Yeah,
I think is what it was. Yeah.
We'll have to go look into that. But you're up next. House Show of the Year.
Who, me?
You.
House Show of the Year? Slammiversary what now? Okay, so we got Super Card of Honor, Slammiversary, Final Battle, Death Before Dishonor, Redemption, and Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor what?
That show was just called Ring of Honor because they had the name of the show was like 16th anniversary show. So
right.
That's why I was like, I can't name it that. That doesn't make sense.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
From now on, that show, their anniversary show, is always just going to be called Ring of Honor.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The same reason I picked the Slammiversary match as my favorite match of the year. The everything that I did in the Discord chat, in the lead up, in the promos, for the match itself, the way it all went down, watching it live with everybody, which was the absolute blast in Discord, losing and Beer Me laughing his ass off at my long no. It just, there's just so much good in that one. And then the write-up I did afterwards and everything that came from there. Yeah, Slammiversary's event of the year for me. House Show of the Year. Easy for me. I can't even think of another one for any other reasons.
You know what? I also went with Slammiversary here. There was just a lot of fun stuff that happened in Slammiversary. There was a lot of fun stuff that happened in a couple of these. I know Final Battle was, to me, I think one of the biggest main events, or the ones I was most excited about, with Spring Tigers versus GMSG for the Road Warrior title. As far as main events
Bomber, from what you do though with these, like the house show ones normally don't matter, but we've made them matter in ways that don't matter. If that makes sense. Like there's important stuff over here, but it's kind of like it's also here. It's like a tie-in issue to the main series.
Yeah,
it's important if you're paying attention to it. So yeah, that's what I feel we've done with these.
And it's usually the house shows are usually a little more fun because we have like the crazy match, just like the one coming up. We have a 1,000 thumbtack death or hardcore match and like stuff like that. And
Woody's match broadcast from Ottawa.
Yeah,
I love that. That's great.
Yeah, house shows, underrated. I think. Unfortunately, there are people, they're just like, I'm not going to watch Ring of Honor. I'm not going to watch Impact.
I don't either.
Fine. That's fine.
Just do it. Pick some stuff. Go.
Yeah,
follow
that's
on Twitter. You can make it up.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
You don't have to. But
I also went with Slammiversary. There was just so many fun things that went into that show. But all right, what'd you go with, Woody?
I as well went Slammiversary. I'm pretty sure.
Yep, you did.
I think that was the house show that really started like the whole fun of like every other house show, and that was probably all towards Scott. All towards Scott for that one.
Yeah,
the main.
I'll take that.
The main event was great. Everything was just great about it. Slammiversary was really fun.
Yeah, and
you better believe I'm looking forward to Takeover in SummerSlam this year. It's in Toronto, you bastards. Oh, it's gonna be great.
I will say this, guys. The voting in this is neck and neck. There are some close votes in this show, or in this category. So
that's good, though. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
The competition is good.
Yeah. As we go, actually, most of the rest of these really close. But anyway, I guess I'm up next. Event of the year. So we got Money in the Bank, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Obviously, like the big four, big five, if you want to call them that. Extreme Rules, Royal Rumble, and Fastlane. I don't actually remember what I voted for here. WrestleMania. That's right. Okay. My thought process on WrestleMania. As I was booking it, I tried to have storylines for so many matches going in. It's WrestleMania, so that obviously is a boost as well. But I tried to get everyone on the main card, which there was this is the only show where there's 15 matches on the main card. And I made graphics for each of the matches. I tried to tie in stories with my best that I could with each of them. There was even that's where the Broken Nerd Ash thing finished up. That's where Legit Boss and Spring Tigers. Obviously, me and Woody. So many big matches took place at WrestleMania that is why I went with WrestleMania for the biggest show or the event of the year. So. Woody.
I think I went WrestleMania. I could be wrong.
You did indeed. You did.
I did. Okay. I went Mania because that's where a lot of the big matches, big rivalries ended, and it all culminated there. And I think out of all of them, WrestleMania was just the most fun for me. I kept up with every match that was happening there, watching it live, read all the write-ups. I usually read all the write-ups, but I read them more than once. It was just a really fun show.
Okay, all right. Scott, what are you thinking?
I'm actually thinking Survivor Series, based on how well you tied the war together. The way that all came together with 3 matches, with the last-minute stuff that you had to deal with, too.
Yeah, that one last year, by the way.
You did.
Yep.
The way that everything culminated, you took the cool stuff from last year and made it into a massive thing. This year with the 3-match war, the way everything just kind of went crazy. And then you think about the other matches too, Daddy Kink Explodes. That was a match on it too. The cool also matches were great. I loved everything about Survivor Series. I loved all the events. I love all of them. Don't get me wrong, but Survivor Series is kind of the payoff met the expectations, is the best way I can put it. WrestleMania was great. It was super fun. Everything was there. Money in the Bank was awesome. Fastlane, I debuted the Canadian title. But no, like the comeback where you put me through the table. We had the tie with Woody. Cool stuff here. There's lots of stuff happening everywhere. The Rumble was a blast. Extreme Rules was nuts. SummerSlam, a man died. But Survivor Series, I don't know. Just like I said, it met expectations, and I was like, how are we going to pull this off? How is Bomber going to make this happen? And he did. So
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I agree. And also I think Survivor Series gets a big boost because it's the last big event of the year, and we try to go all out for that show as well. It's
ironically somehow our WrestleMania, quote unquote, in its way. Like it's our big event in a weird way. So yeah.
But yeah, I can see that. All right. Who's next? What are you next?
I think
I am.
Yeah, okay.
We're in stable.
Oh, who's in stables? Ooh.
Yep, stable of the year.
All right. You have the winners. You have the solution.
Oh, okay.
They're not a stable anymore. What are we talking about? Bullshit. No, disqualify.
You got Woody. You got the Warden. You got Beer Me Jesus. And you got these two randoms. I don't know who the fuck they are. You got AK. You got John.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can skip the rest. Okay, what's next? JRPL
really?
Connect Award.
Well, I got something interesting to tell you then. Here coming up when it comes to the votes.
The blissful enigmas. You got.
Oh, you got them.
Yeah, you got Redhead, Jonathan ZT Martin, Junction, Adanex and Breaker. Team No Chance, who also has a no chance of winning this award. Fucking 5.
Oh, he's getting good.
Gideonio, Ravioli, whatever the fuck. Vitamin Yes.
All right.
Or Stella Queensy.
Cheater.
Ooh.
You have let's get that team. AHMF, you got Spring Tigris, or GMSG, Green Machine.
Oh, it's cracking me up so much.
Imperium, you got Boss, and then you got 2 other people with XLVI and Nate Myers.
So I think it's safe to say you voted for the Solution Era.
He did.
Just safe to say. Okay. I believe it or not, I voted for the Ultraviolet Alliance. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. I think the Solution had a great year. Don't get me wrong. Solution had a great year, but man, did they crash and burn in the last couple months of the year. I think if you guys would have, excuse me here, if you guys would have left with, none of you guys have titles right now. You guys have been on the top the entire year, and then such a crash and burn at the end. I think that is what halted the Solution's chance. Blissful Enigmas made a huge surge at the, exact opposite of you guys. They had a rough time. They had a rough time, and then at the end, they had a huge surge and came out up front.
Hey, Woody, what's gold and has a maple leaf on it? You got a title. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. But I went Ultraviolet Alliance. Not only did I have a great run with several titles and, stuff like that, but I said Jonathan C.T. Martin. Junction, Jesus, Jut, and Bastion, they, to me, tag team of the year. We'll get there in a little bit, but they were involved in so many interesting and crazy things. They killed 2 guys, for God's sake, Jesus. But overall, we never really had a down time all year from the start to the end. We didn't win every single match, obviously, but we never really crashed and burned ever. We were always consistent, always winning, always on top, always just doing good. So I don't think that can be said for any of the other teams on this list as far as when you think of the entire year. So I went with the UVC. Scott?
Well, the Solution, here's my thought on it. The Solution seems like the shoe-in in what they've accomplished all year up to November. At the same time, when it came down to it, as a stable, it always seemed to crumble. As a single or a team, there was no stopping them. But when it came to all together, there were always problems. You follow me there?
Yeah.
So there was issues with that. The Enigmas were kind of the reverse. They always had each other, but it never quite got done, and then they kind of turned that around toward the end. So they were... It might have been too late for them to turn that around and take that over the Solution. So kind of a neck and neck for them, for me on that one. Team No Chance, I don't really see them going above either of those teams. They're in the conversation, but again, as far as for accomplishing things as a stable, it never quite always worked out. But the UVC, it never didn't work out for the UVC, aside from when I dropped the Titantron on two guys.
Yeah.
But that's literally it. Like as a stable, you guys literally ran the gauntlet in the Survivor Series. You never lost anything of major import, aside from I think the one side title match.
When I
that was a
lost
solution. So there you go.
And when I lost to Woody, was kind of a that was a big
Yeah,
blow.
that
Well,
but
that was
when the whole UVC lost the War Games match.
Well,
Yeah,
okay, yes,
there's
that one.
elements
Yeah,
there.
you know what? You guys did, but I blame that, and Bastion definitely blames that on Tino. So
Yeah.
that I think we did pretty good, but Tino definitely kind of fucked us over on that one, unfortunately.
Now it's a tough one because like the UVC is the smallest of the stables so far here, and the other ones are only 3 members. But it's like the 3-man group with the HMF, who's always been strong, but I oddly never think of them so much as a stable, except just like as a group. I don't know if that's a thing. Like a 3-man stable isn't a stable in my brain, but I'm working with it here. Same with Imperium. Same kind of thing. It's like it's just a team. I never really thought of it as much. So there's a little bit working against it. The solution, though, like as far as for a team, they're the best up there with Woody. Like you guys have always knocked it out. The Enigmas, I think, if there were 2 or 3 more months in the year, the Enigmas might have this award. But I think they're going to have a very strong start of 2019. That might almost hurt them in getting it here. Bomber, my vote's going to the UVC.
Okay. So very interesting here. I also thought the solution was going to run away with this award. Not saying they're going to lose. Not saying they're going to win. I'm just saying
they should win.
I'm
I
just
still don't
saying
think it.
this is what I saw when the votes were coming in. The first 10 votes that came in, the solution had 2 votes. That's crazy to me. I don't know if it was, those last 2 months. I don't know what it was, but the solution, I'm not going to give any updated, but that's after the first 10 votes came in. Solution were down pretty big. So that's all I'm going to put it at. So like when you said, Woody, like, oh, it's no brainer. Yeah, a lot of people, going with other stuff.
These last
wrong
2
people.
months have hurt them. The last 2 months are almost too recent.
Yeah, I think
Because if you think back, January and February were not great for the solution either, but they're so long ago.
Yeah, and
No one thinks of it. So
yeah, a lot of stuff is going to be weighed on, recent stuff in your memory. So that also could be hurting on you guys a little bit, but we will see.
like if you look at simply the fact that the Enigmas trumped the solution when it really mattered at the end of the year, hey, they're the better stable. 2 times out of 10. I can't go with that one. But
Yeah.
for my money, no one ever trumped the UVC. Now, that said, the Enigmas also went undefeated through Survivor Series. No one member got eliminated. But the UVC, literally, you guys stood tall at the end. The amount of times the UVC, all 3 stood tall,
And you know what?
nothing was beating that in my eyes.
When you bring up Survivor Series, there was like a little story in our match that really didn't even, get much recognition. We lost our 2 partners right away, and we were down big time, and the 3 of us came back and won that match. That was, to me, that was a pretty big story for that match, just specifically. But
Oh, trust me,
Anyway.
watching it live, I knew that. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is. Oh, wouldn't it suck if that happened? I thought that, and then it did.
you should have seen our private chat. We were freaking out. It was crazy, but the comeback was nuts.
It was supposed to be, I'm the hero, I get to come back, and here we go. But no, you're still the bad guys.
I like what you did there. Comeback.
Oh, I
That's the
see my
next-
segue? Hey, it's
Yeah.
Comeback Kid Award. Here we go.
Yeah.
Ash, the Finn rivals, Cross, Dr. Tommy Oliver, and Cam Popplestone.
Ooh, really interesting stuff.
It's a hard one. Is this a new award?
No, this was last year. I think CM Carlito won last year because
Okay.
he started out really bad, but then came back and did some really good stuff. I guess I'll jump in real quick. I also, this is hard as shit. This is one of the hardest awards, I think, for me to vote for almost on the entire thing. There were so many. I had Cross in my mind like throughout the whole year. I was like, man, he won Jobber of the Year last year, so obviously he's got a lot to come back from there. And he came in, he won multiple titles, though only for one day. He still won multiple titles. He got to the finals of Tournament of Death. He did so good. He had a big character change and, made a big impact. But then you got guys like Ash, who started out pretty bad this year. His is more bad this year as opposed to like last year he did fine. This year he started out bad, and look what he became. He's right now the world champion. To me, that's huge for comeback of the year. Finn has never really made waves, but holy crap. His thing with Ash rocketed him up to, upper card, not quite main event status, but he came from out of nowhere and popped the stuff in there. And guess what? The whole best of 5, all Finn's idea. He messaged me on Twitter, all his idea. So good stuff there. Dr. Tommy Oliver, who is definitely the newest, obviously, out of this category. Wow. Started out 0-3. He said he was going to be nothing but a jobber, and he's won 6, 7 straight matches. Though I can see arguments for he's too, fresh for getting this award, but still deserving of a nomination. And Cam Popplestone. We can't forget about Cam Popplestone. The biggest, I know he did get topped by GMSG for, Road Warrior title runs, but Cam Popplestone did it first. He had a little list. He had like a Cody Rhodes list and everything. And he went from, struggling to being, I think he did pretty much make it to the main event status. So all super, super hard for me to pick from. But at the end of the day, I did go with Cross. I think coming in as Jobber of the Year with no expectations, and he's still doing good. He even won at TLC. He won his last show. He did very good this year. He had a winning record after barely winning anything. I'm going with Cross. He had a lot of big moments, so that was my pick. Woody, what'd you go with?
Now I know who I picked. I picked Ash, but you kind of swayed me on Cross. But Ash is still a good person that I voted for.
I can see all these guys getting picks.
Yeah, all these guys can get picks. I think throughout this whole year, I thought that I was going to vote Cam, but I think the thing that stopped me from voting Cam is his, stopping then coming back and stopping then coming back. It just really hurt him in this category for me, and I went Ash because him winning the world title and just coming back and just doing all of that, and he's in the main event scene now. I just had to go Ash.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. Scott?
I think Ash as well. Ash and I can't pick Finn over Ash because Ash beat Finn in the whole thing. Otherwise, I would probably go with Finn. Cross had a turnaround that was great. He had some ups and downs, which I can relate to, but he's always catapulted better from those losses. Dr. Oliver, look at him like the new guy making waves. He's awesome, and I love everything Cam is doing. But Ash literally came back to the world title main event. I can't go any higher than that. So yeah.
All right. Well, you talking close stuff? That is close. That is a very close award, by the way. I'm not voting why. I'm looking at the numbers. Super
this
close.
To me seems like one that should be one of the closest, just based on what's.
I mean,
they're all.
I can see a vote for an argument for everyone.
Yeah, you can make an argument for anybody, and people will be like, "I agree." Like it's that close. Yeah.
Yep. All right. I guess I'm up next. Rookie of the Year. This is the first time we had this category because everyone was a rookie last year. So, Rookie of the Year, we got Dr. Tommy Oliver. We have AK, Nathan 8K, Kyoko, and or Stella. I believe I went with Nathan 8K for Rookie of the Year. You know what? He came in with a bang. He was like one of the first people to have like a feud with Fart Bucket, which I think is hilarious. With Fart Bucket breaking his guitar and all that kind of stuff. But as I think about it after selecting, I can see that I may have made a mistake. I think I picked him based off of some moments and stuff, but not based off of his record, because going back and looking, he didn't really, win a lot. So I think I made a mistake in this voting here. But I still think he did make a big impact. He even made a big impact at Survivor Series by forming a brand new team, the Drifters with Real Deal. And he's always in chat. He's always a very active member. So maybe that is also why his name kind of stuck out. Not saying the other ones aren't, but he's been there for a while. So I went with Nathan 8K. What about you, Woody?
This one was hard because it was really hard because you have Nathan, who's, he's really, really, really active, but he just doesn't, in my opinion, he doesn't have the wins for Rookie of the Year. Dr. Tommy Oliver, I don't think he's been here long enough to warrant Rookie of the Year. So
I
then
can see that argument. Yeah.
Then you got Kyoko or Stella and AK. Or Stella, I don't know.
Sorry.
Cheater.
No.
Yes, cheater. No, not that. I can't think of any big things on the top of my head to warrant Rookie of the Year for him. And then Kyoko and AK, I mainly just went to records and everything, and I'm pretty sure I went AK.
Yes.
Even though I probably shouldn't have, but all the other votes I couldn't warrant any of the other votes.
That's funny because I feel like I kind of would rethink mine as well. So what are you thinking, Scott? Now that you heard both of us talk about rethinking ours.
Well, I'm kind of thinking Dr. Tommy Oliver because just based on what we have from the different awards and stuff, no other newcomer is standing out quite as much as he is. But I kind of want to go with Nathan 8K for the simple fact that I forgot he was a rookie this year. That's how kind of ingrained he is in how prevalent he is.
Yeah, let me go look and see when he did.
You know what I mean? Like, It's like, he's a rookie this year? What? Is what my brain said. But I remember he came in recently with the Elias guitar.
Yeah, let me go.
But I'm like, he doesn't seem like he's a rookie. Are you kidding me? So that shouldn't merit that being a rookie because success is important as well.
Yep, he made his debut at TakeOver Chicago 2018. So TakeOver Chicago was his debut.
It doesn't seem like he's a rookie to me.
And you know what?
Okay, yeah.
You know what? As I'm looking at his profile, his first 6 matches, he was 5-1. But after that, defeat, no contest, defeat, victory, defeat. He kind of, after that early start, he definitely trickled off. So
it can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen. But I got to go with Dr. Tommy Oliver. No, he's one of the rookies that has really stood out the most. For better or worse, he's actually turned around. He has a title shot in 2019 for crying out loud.
Sure does.
I'm going with Dr. Tommy Oliver for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that 100%. You know what? As I was looking at it, guys, I know we were kind of sleeping on Rostella because he doesn't really, he doesn't make headlines that much. But, dude, his record, pretty good.
Rostella's another one, like Nathan 8K. I'm like, as a rookie? It's kind of the thought process, like, really? He's new?
Yep, he debuted at Redemption.
That goes well. That means, like, oh, you've been around. Like, you seem like you're a name player in this kind of thing. So
yeah. But I can
go
definitely.
With Dr. Tommy Oliver, yeah.
Oh, that's a strong vote. If I went back and redid, I think I probably would have changed my vote from Nathan AK to Dr. Tommy Oliver. He's picked it up so hardcore and has been doing so good lately. So, all right, 3 categories left. Hey, one for each of us to talk about.
Yep.
Who's up? I forget.
Well, Woody.
I think it's me.
Yep.
It's Woody.
It's the jumper of the year. You have Matt Zion, CJ Blackthorne. You have the Fart Bucket, Brendan 23, and Daddy Fatsack. And I'll just start it off. I think this was one of the more easier ones for me. Even though his record's better than some of the other other people in the category, but I think Fart Bucket is he's just that jobber. Like he's just story wise he's been that jobber. His character is a jobber, whether it be a lovable jobber or he still gets wins, and it's great when he gets wins because people don't expect it. Like when he teamed with Warden and Beerme.
You know what?
Beat, the Enigmas.
Somebody argued for that to be upset of the year. That's one of the ones where I was like, you know what? You're right. That should have been up for a category.
Yeah,
that was my mistake there. I kind of overlooked that and didn't think about that one, but I agree that probably should have been a category, a nomination. You're right.
Mm-hmm. So, thinking about that, it's just like Fart Bucket has to get my vote. If he's gonna pull off wins like that and shock everyone, he is the jobber of the year for me.
All right. No, you are 100% right. Like he is the epitome of a jobber, and he loves it too. He's so when I go to work, he almost every day, is there a new show to pick? Is there a new show to pick? He's so into it, but yet he's not. He's into it, but yet he has no idea what's happening in wrestling. It's really funny. For those of you that don't know, I work with Fart Bucket, so and he's not a wrestling fan. The only wrestler he knows is Doink the Clown, which is why he's this perfect jobber. But anyway, yes, he is the epitome of a jobber, but I didn't go with that. I went straight off of, record. He's somebody that always is at the very first match of the show and always, unfortunately, loses. I went with CJ Blackthorne. He may be under the radar a little bit, but man, he unfortunately cannot win to save his life. He's only got 2 wins to his career, and he debuted last year. So think about that, okay? 2 wins, debuted last year. I'm going with CJ Blackthorne. I would have picked Matt Zion because he only has 1 win this year. No joke. He has 1 win this year, and it was against the Eloquent Enigmas, funny enough, at Extreme Rules in a tag team match with Rab. But he doesn't show up as much. CJ Blackthorne shows up to almost every show. So I went with CJ Blackthorne just based off of overall record, and yeah, that's what I went with. So what do you think, Scott?
Well, Fart Bucket seems like the obvious choice. Mm-hmm. But the reason I don't pick Fart Bucket is because Fart Bucket doesn't even really try to do it. He'll just pick 1 through 8 if there's 8 matches. Like, that's the order. 1,
okay.
2, like, that's all he does.
Sure.
Matt watches. Matt tries.
Yeah.
Matt fails.
Yes.
Matt sucks. Matt's my vote.
He does suck, unfortunately.
He literally watches and tries and goes to what he thinks is right and fails. He just jobs out. Blackthorn, that's a tough one because literally if he's that bad, I probably should be picking that one. But just Matt, he's not always there, but when he is, it's not good.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't throw it out there like it's nothing. He legitimately thinks about it, puts a little bit of effort in, watches the shows sometimes, and then comes up with what he comes up with. So.
Mm-hmm. And last thing I'll say about this, looking at the votes, super close voting on this one too. Like a lot of these are really close here at the end.
It almost should be a kayfabe award for Fart Bucket to win. I mean, let's be honest here. Like it really should be.
That's why I didn't go with Fart Bucket. Was based off of again, this is everyone's interpretation. You pick who you want based off what you want, but stat wise, he wins more than CJ Blackthorne. So yeah. I went with that. But kayfabe wise, he is the perfect jobber. He's the jobber.
Fart Bucket beat me, if not for 3 bonus points. Yeah. He had me beat.
And he beat Dr. Tommy Oliver, who
Fart Bucket is.
And he beat Dr. Tommy Oliver, who you guys were saying definitely could be Rookie of the Year. So that's interesting too.
Yep.
But super close. It's going to be interesting to see who walks away Jobber of the Year. Trust me, I think Fart Bucket wants that award more than anyone else. I will say that.
I hope he gets it. I really do.
We'll see. It's close. All right. 2 left. Scott.
Tag Team of the Year. The Solution, the Warden and Beer Me Jesus, who were literally tag team champions for, I think, 9 months of the year.
Yeah, since from March to December. Insane.
Yeah, so damn near, almost 10 months. The AHMF, Spring Tigress, and the GMSG. The Outsiders, Lee and Scott, myself, who were tag champions for 1 event of the year. And then we're no longer a team after August. Keep that in mind, and we're still on this list. So there you go. The UVC, Jut 9, and Bastion, that bastard. The Eloquent Enigmas, Jonathan C.T. Martin and Junction, who were also tag team champions for 1 event of this year, winning it at the very end. Yeah. And Imperium, Nate Myers and Giavili. Giavili?
Yeah.
Xivili.
Mm-hmm. Woody, you want to start it off? I think we know where you're leaning on this one.
Oh yeah. I went UVC, Jet and Bastion.
Hey, there it is.
No, because they suck. I went Solution.
Wow.
More than Beer Me. Yeah.
And you think you're face of the year.
I'm gonna throw it out there. If the Warden and Beer Me don't win, I am going to be shocked. I will be one shocked motherfucker because they are tag division. They were or whatever. Yeah. They are the tag team of the year. They were at the top of the tag division for most of the year. Yeah. So it was a given for me.
I also obviously, I love my boys, Jut and Bastion, but they couldn't get the big wins. They lost two of their only title matches. One of them to UVC, one of them to Solution, the other one to Awesome Hooded Motherfuckers. But yeah, Solution, easy. If anybody, there were a lot of votes not for the Solution. I will say that. There are a lot. Out of the first 8 people to vote, 3 voted for the Solution. So I will give you that. Just a little sneak peek on how that could possibly shake out. But Solution, man, come on. Goddamn. Longest reign, they made history. I don't think anybody, I will be shocked. You said you were shocked? I'll be shocked if anybody ever beats their reign as a champion, any title ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, easily Solution, hands down, nobody even remotely close. So that's my vote.
For me, I'll just work my way up. Imperium, Lee and I squashed them at WrestleMania, but they rebounded huge.
I think that was their only tag team loss besides for the title the titles shot.
It was close. The Enigmas, like I said, they didn't have a great year until the end of it. They really made an awesome thing of it at the end, but that's not enough as far as I'm concerned. The UVC, all right, so we never beat them, but they had some key losses here and there, but it's real hard to pick against those two because they didn't match, were just dominant.
I will say they only lost 3 times as a tag. They've only lost 3 times as a tag team, and 2 of them were title matches. So I will say that
it's tough.
Yep.
Outsiders, I'd love to vote for us. We had an awesome run. I think 6 in a row, right around WrestleMania season. It was fantastic. Mm-hmm. We literally weren't together for the latter 5 months of the year.
And you started the year as champions.
We started the year as champions. We did come into the year as the champs, but got screwed over thanks to the draw in the tournament, making both teams advance, and that kind of hosed us. So we got screwed there. We lost our rematch, our contendership match with the Solution, who went on the tag titles, and we never got a shot again aside from that triple threat, I think it was, and then the Money in the Bank. So we never really could get it done, and honestly, there's no way I can vote for us over the UVC.
You mean
Let's be fair.
Solution, you mean?
Or your boys? No.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, okay, I see.
No, there's no way I can vote for Outsiders over UVC in this. There's no way. Because of those 2 teams existed this year, and one team always beat the other.
What if I was to tell you right now the Outsiders have more votes than the UVC?
I'd be shocked. I legitimately would be.
That is, I know. I'm not giving numbers, but that is the case.
I will say that I do feel that we were a name team. We were literally, and I believe still are statistically, the number 2 team of all time. Mm-hmm. I'll always toot that horn, but it's a matter of time. We're going to get overtaken. But we didn't have a great year. It's really what I got to put it to. The AHMF, not as noteworthy of a year either. It was good. I mean, they're the ones who took the titles from us, I believe it was, way back when.
Yep.
But literally, the Solution were the tag team division for 9 months of the year. I can't not vote for these guys this time around. There's no way I can't in this sense. As much as I'd love to vote for myself or the UVC, to be fully honest, I'm voting for Solution on it.
All right. Well, that means we're up to the big one, the big kahuna. Superstar of the year. We got JD Anio, however you say it, Woody, Bomber, The Warden, Beer Me Jesus, and the GMSG. Now, first of all, before we get into anything, I will say I was updating everybody's profiles because, I wanted to get at least these people updated. So if somebody wanted to go in and look at profiles before the voting takes place, you can. And as I did the little write-up for, how all of these people's year went. I did not have GMSG included on the list. It was originally the other 5, no GMSG. But after going back and looking, definitely worthy of being on this list. He may not win. He may not be your Superstar of the Year, but he deserves to be on this list with these other guys here. But yeah, I just wanted to say that right off the bat, that I overlooked him. That was my fault, and he definitely deserved it. So, Woody, what are you thinking? What did you go with, that is?
This one was really, really tough for a lot of reasons. I guess I'll go from the top. I think that'll be easier. JD, he was part of No Chance He, I want to say he won the Road Warrior this year. He won the Top Lock this year.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get much. He didn't get many defenses with either of those two belts, though.
Just one total.
Yeah. Besides that, I can't think of a lot of he had a good record and everything. I can't think of a lot of things that would warrant Superstar of the Year.
Yeah, he had a very. I think he went up mainly because he had a very good record this year. He did a lot of. He had a lot of wins this year, but anyway, sorry to interrupt. Just want to chime in as you're going.
Yeah, it's myself. I ended the reign of the Hippo at the beginning of the year. It was Top Lock champion. Had a few defenses. Main evented Mania against you with the Tell him to Sell. That's where I became GM for 3 months. I took the Money in the Bank case from Cyborg. Cashed in at the main event of the night before, but I won it at the main event at SummerSlam against Boss.
Mm-hmm.
I had one defense with that. I think I deserve to be on the list. I don't know if I win, but I deserve to be on it.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Yep. Yeah. You got yourself, you got Bomber, who the Tournament of Death winner, won the Ultraviolent title and the Road Warrior title.
Mm-hmm.
And you held them both at the same time, which is pretty rad.
That was your fault, by the way, you son of a bitch. But hey, I do what I can. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. What else? You still are the UV champion.
Yes.
So that's something. Okay, this is where it gets kind of tricky. You have the Warden, and I have to link them together. You have the Warden, and you have Bear Me Jesus. It's really hard picking between those two because they're so intertwined. You really have to get really nitpicky if you're going to pick between one or the other. And they held the tag record and all that shit. How many times would they beat this year? Only
I have an article up. I have to go click on it. But I think one lost 4, one lost 5. I think Beer Me lost 4 times, and Warden lost 5. It's loading up right now. I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
As a team, how many have they
Correct.
lost?
Oh, as a team, just 1.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When they lost the titles to, yeah.
So I'm gonna go back up there in a second because I'll kind of go by who I picked. You have the GMSG, who was a 2-time Road Warrior champion. He won the Peanut Memorial Battle Royal. Mm-hmm. And he definitely deserves to be on the list. He was one of the he had the most defenses for the Road Warrior title, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
He surpassed Ken Popplestone, yep.
Yeah. He definitely deserved to be on it. But this one was really, really close. But I slightly went and I went Bear Me Jesus because
interesting.
He was one half of the longest reigning tag champions. Champions in general, he had the most wins. And he's our ROH guy. He's our TNA guy. I don't think me and Warden would do as good with those two without him. So
interesting.
That Fear me, Jesus, easily. What about you?
Well, this is where it gets fun. I think JD kind of lost it at the end. If he would have ended the year as Top Lock champ, I think that would have helped his cause, but I think that loss right at the end without defending his title kind of hurt him. Woody, going back and looking, man, you were in the main event of WrestleMania. You were in the main event of SummerSlam. You're the main event of Survivor Series. You were in the main event of all the big, shows. You were in the main event of Money in the Bank. I'm not sure about Royal Rumble. I forgot what that was. It was a Royal Rumble match, I guess. But, you were the main event of all the big shows of the year. So that is huge in itself. You had a great record. Put up a lot of points. You did good. And, you were the world champion. So you're the only world champion on this list. So that's big. Me, I'm just going to tell you right now, I did vote for myself. I did way better than I thought I was going to do. I'm the only person that held 2 titles at once. That Tournament of Death, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, Tournament of Death, it's, maybe not a big deal. We won. I won a 4-way death match, like another 4-way death match. And then, you know how hard it is to win a death match? I won 2, 4-man death matches or a triple threat. Like, that is hard as shit because you're the one that came up with the Tournament of Death, the brackets and everything. And we were both like, wow, whoever wins this deserved that like a motherfucker because they had to go through a lot. And I honestly would not have guessed myself winning it, but I ended up winning that. I started the year as the UV champion. I came in as UV champion. I ended the year as UV champion, which is awesome, I feel. I think that, again, yes, a little biased. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with voting for yourself in these. But when I look at these guys, Ward, Beer Me, Jesus, they did fantastic. Obviously, easily tag team of the year, but it's so hard to pick one of these guys as, standing out over the other. So that's what hurt it for me for one of these guys, because I can't really pick Warden over Beer Me Jesus. Like, I think he did better because I think they did the same, and they both did good. And I just couldn't go with them. And GMSG, after going back and looking at the stats, he had the most points scored this year. He set record with the Road Warrior title. He won it twice. He's the only 2-time Road Warrior champion. He's the only Peanut Memorial Battle Royal winner. And him and Spring Tigress won the tag team. He's got so many accolades this year alone that I honestly can see him as one of the top contenders here. And I didn't even think about him at first, which is crazy. So I can see an argument for a lot of these guys. Again, I think JD is a little bit on the weaker side of this list. But the other 5, I can see anybody voting for any one of them and not seeing an issue with it at all. But at the end, I think that Tournament of Death to me was what pushed me over the top in my eyes, because that was hard as fuck to win. And I also am undefeated in death matches, by the way. So that's one of the harder matches to win. And look at I scored a total of, this is me, toot my own horn here, that's how it goes. But I won, I'm loading up the thing. I have, points-wise, I am one of the top point getters of the year, and I competed in so many death matches, hardcore matches. To me, that says a lot. But again, that's just me, tooting my own horn, trying to get people to vote for me. But there you go. I voted for myself here. A lot of deserving people in this category. All right, Scott, what are you going with?
Well,
it's tough.
There's a lot I could say that has already been said. It really comes down, ironically, to you two guys, in my eyes. Part of it is you start, there was the WrestleMania main event. It was the both sides of the war, the leaders of the factions for that kind of thing. As much as I love the Solution Tag, Woody just kind of supplanted that in a lot of ways. Ironically, Woody had some key losses during that, whereas Bomber, like you said, you had the tournament wins, you had more wins here and there. I'm picking you for the Superstar of the Year simply because of the success that you had in the year. So even though Woody might have been in more main events, it felt like, didn't always win them. So when it came down to big events that matter, trust me, believe me, I know about being in a spot and then not winning and having problems. I can see that being a thing, and Woody kept making his way back there. That does mean a lot. But Bomber, whenever you were in those spots, you pretty much won all of the key moments that came up. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Well, if you do vote for me, I do thank you. I hope I didn't. I don't hope it didn't sway too much, but
no, I was really thinking it was going to be you or Woody, but I'm like, but Woody had some losses here and there.
Honestly,
what kept coming to mind. I'm like,
same deal for me. To me, it was me versus Woody when it came to who to pick, and his win at WrestleMania was huge. But when I thought about overall, I just feel like I had slightly a better year. Yes, he won the world title. But I had other titles, other tournament wins, and I defended my title more. And somehow, I don't know how I did it, Woody, but I ended up scoring more points than you, and I was in 5 death matches and 4 hardcore matches this year. I was undefeated in all of them, by the way, but I just want to point that out. So
yeah.
But anyway.
So my votes are in.
Votes are in. Submitted, huh?
I clicked submit. They are in. We will see what happens.
And the last thing I will say for the voting for Superstar of the Year, I'm looking at the numbers. Again, super close. Super close. I will tell you this, Woody, between you and me, you have more votes than me. So, not saying you're winning, not saying, you're number one, but you are beating me right now in the vote category. Even after Scott's vote, by the way. So, want to point that out.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, imagine if I swayed it, Woody. Oh.
That would have been funny. But yes, so right now, Woody, you are doing better than me. So congrats on that so far.
And to everybody who's listening in, because unfortunately the stream, sorry guys, it just kind of crapped out all night. It was dropping connections. So not many really got to see this live. It wasn't really going. So they'll be listening to this later on. Okay. Unfortunately, like I tried stuff with the connection, and that just wasn't working out. But for those who weren't nominated for stuff, or only had like 1 or 2 here and there, it's a fun thing to work toward. Like I see myself looking at it. I played a gamble of being a tweener all year, and there's no category for that. So it's like heel or face. Oh, I kind of got left out. I went towards something toward the end.
Yeah.
And towards like Superstar of the Year. Oh, I didn't have a good year for that. And things like this, like, oh, I got to work on this, work on that. So it's just like any kind of loss. It's an avenue to work towards it and get in there. Like, look at Dr. Tommy Oliver. Just go be a Power Ranger, and you can do anything. So
yeah.
God damn.
You got that right. Yeah, but it was fun. Voting closes, January 5th, right before homecoming. So the day before homecoming. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't voted yet, go vote. We're up in the 30s right now, in the 30 category. So there's still plenty of people left to vote. I asked that guy Jack at work. I was like, "Hey, you're gonna go vote?" He said, "No, Fart Bucket's not up for Superstar of the Year. I'm not voting." I was like, "Okay." So, so there you go.
Could you imagine if you had write-in capabilities for votes?
He would win everything. Fart Bucket would win everything.
He would. It would be bad.
But yeah, I know you guys are tired. I'm feeling weird. So Woody, if you want to get us out of here, I hope you guys enjoyed. And if for those in the stream, if you've been having a hard time, of course it'll be up on YouTube here in a couple of days. So you'll be able to check stuff you missed maybe on there.
Yeah, still have plenty of time before the voting for it to go up in time for that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm good.
You two have anything else to say?
No, I thought it was a very fun year. Maybe we'll get more into that later on another episode, but I think it was a really fun year, and I'm excited for the next one.
I am super excited for the next year. I'm super excited to see how these turn out. For those who might not have thought they were in the running for anything to looking like they are, and like I said, I'll toot my horn, go Slammiversary. But for the upcoming year, there's already cool stuff that I've got planned, and when I start planning things, that's going to get crazy fun. So it's fun stuff. It's good.
And that's the thing for anybody out that's like, oh man, I really wish I was nominated for this, but yeah, I know I wasn't that involved. This is your hey, you get involved as much as you want to. If you jump in, message me, you come up with story ideas. There's somebody, I'm not dropping names, but somebody has a not war level storyline that they pitched me, but on that scale, not that many people, but a big feud that they pitched me that could be happening this year. So I
nice.
Hit me up. Always willing to listen. So
I've literally, the people keep saying I've got to run the gauntlet and my dance card's full because I've got so much coming up, but I've literally got storylines going. There might be stuff with someone that name rhymes with redhead. That's happening with matches. Oh no, what did I say? No, there's literally stuff going on, obviously. Yeah. But you know what the best part is of what's coming up with the events happening soon? The Royal Rumble, which I know must be a bastard of a thing for you to write, but
it was last year.
Can start getting fun and mixing up in that. So
I really do. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say we can spin into that you're streaming tomorrow night with Rumble news as well, right?
Oh, I do feel terrible right now, but that is the plan.
Well, so you might not do it.
No, I really do. This is what I have planned for tomorrow night, which if you're listening to this later, I mean, I don't know how relevant this is, but Plan is, yes, to stream tomorrow night. I already have the 30 names selected. I am going to select the order of entry. So everybody's going to know who comes out where. And also, my plan is to do a 30-man simulation rumble on Fire Pro Wrestling and commentate over it and do all that. So that is the plan tomorrow night right now. Again, my stomach's feeling better, but I definitely still have a little bit of a fever. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. So just, yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to be on that one. I literally don't know. I might get a last minute, hey, come do a thing. But if not, I'll jump in. I'll be there with you.
Okay. Sounds good. But yeah, anything you want to throw out, Woody, before we get out of here?
If you don't vote Solution for Faction of the Year, we will accept your resignation. Just message me or Bomber.
There you go.
Hey, you vote for whoever you want. You can be the one-man army like me and pick what you want. Let's go for it.
Pick no
that's
chance.
That's why Lee's dead. But goodbye, everyone.
Oh,
man. Savage.